Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to Factorio. I'm favourite. As you can see, we've just produced 1,000 red circuits, and robot frames are finished, and worker robot speed. Yes, what we need is construction bots. This is highly important, construction bots, and then we need like logistics bots. They're good too, and what I really need is like a personal roboport. This is the good stuff right here. This is where things get going now. I've been looking at this. I was letting it run for a little while and just having a look at the setup here, and I'm definitely not producing enough engines. I'm not producing enough red circuits, but in doing so I'm basically exhausting every green circuit I have. Green circuits are basically out. It's just drained the system completely. So this is where the need for copper and everything starts really ramping up. And the need for green circuits starts really ramping up. So at the moment, for some reason, the copper has stopped, the green circuits has stopped producing altogether. Why is this not producing? It's not got any iron. Because we've not got any iron. Yep, we're completely out of iron. The green circuits is grinding to a halt. Everything is stopping. Because we have completely exhausted our iron supply. So this is where this is likely to end up becoming Green Circuit Town later. This I'm going to have to look at producing some grey science. I'm not going to produce a lot of grey science. It's going to be a very small amount of grey science, I think. And I might produce it off bespoke and sort that out. We'll take a personal roboport, please. So I need to look very closely at all this system now. The system is now reaching the point where I'm assuming the trains are still running. I'm not sure what that's tanked for. We now have advanced oil processing as well. At which point we're going to have to probably look at disconnecting one of these a second. Let's disconnect that from the loop, and then we'll look at, you can change it to advanced oil processing. Now that still produces petroleum gas, but it also produces heavy oil and light oil, and you then need water. So the first thing we're going to do today is look at that, and then we're going to have to look at our situation regarding green circuits, because I think at the moment we need to be putting almost everything into making green circuits somewhere. But I'd like to just sort this oil out so it's at least producing. Actually, let's not, because if I start producing, it's gonna start getting all out of hand, and by that I mean it's gonna end up filling up certain things, and I'm not sure if we've got we've probably got cracking here. Yeah, we can start cracking, but then I have to start getting into circuit loops for cracking oil down as required. It all starts getting quite complicated quite fast. So the thing we need to think about is going to be green circuits, and we need to start producing green circuits en masse. And ultimately, the problem I've got with the green circuits en masse situation is I'm not going to do it here. There's just not a big area to do it. I'm going to end up building perhaps an area here for copper to go in, but I'm going to need a whole big copper smelting area for green circuits, and I'm going to need to be bringing copper in from somewhere, which looks like it's going to be over here. So I'm going to need to bring masses of copper in. I'm going to need to bring iron in to it, which I will probably be training in as well from somewhere. At the moment it might be training in from here, I don't know. I'm going to need to look at that. Might have to pipe some iron down to it for now. It doesn't need an enormous amount of iron. But what I might end up doing is putting a train pickup for some of the iron, which we're not using at the moment, and having that ship out over to a copper zone. So what I'm looking to do is start turning this train track into proper track. And with that in mind, this is where everything starts building up on you. Because we've run out of essentially green circuits, we're going to need some green circuits to make this all happen. And we're going to have to start looking at... What? There were 8 rails in there? Oh, that's because all the rails are there. Yep, now we're full. Now we're full. Now we can't carry squat. What does that take? That takes some steel. We've got a bunch of steel here. How's that? Is that better? Now we've got some space. Okay. We've got some space for now. Let's see as well, while we're here, if we can start making some very basic setups for my modular armor. Like, I can probably make some batteries or something like that. Perfect night glasses. Afraid of the dark. Yes, I'll have a set of perfect night glasses so as we no longer have the dark thing at night. We have the advanced circuits, so that's not a problem. I should be able to equip those into my armor like this, and that should mean that I don't get so much night problems anymore. Anyway, what I'm looking at is down here. I'm thinking this is where we need to start producing lots of green circuits, and for that I'm going to need copper, quite a bit of it. I'm not sure how much. I'm just looking at the map and thinking, do I then pipe this over, or do I just train it in? I think I'm just going to train it in. I'm going to build it here and then train it in. The other question is, how the hell are we doing for power? We're doing okay. Okay, better than I expected. So I need to get a copy of... That's going to come down, I think. I need to get a copy of one of these, so I can actually make one. Ooh, let's do it this side. I'll get a copy of one of those, and this will be for smelting the copper we need and smelting some iron for making a lot of green circuits. And the thing is, this is going to expand out not just to green circuits, but to red circuits and things like that as well. So we're going to be producing a lot of circuits in this area. And it's all going to be sort of done separately from the bus situation. So we'll need a train station down here for dropping off copper, and probably for dropping off coal as well. So what I'm going to do is put one, let's do 2, 3, 4 copper at least for now, and then we'll do 1, 2 iron. I might need more later, but that is going to be the starter for 10. And I'm going to let this run a second and start building up. I need to start thinking about a train station here. Okay, so as I've been building the bit down there, the other side, it is still building, but it was building. I've run into one of my first problems, which is I'm now out of yellow inserters because there's no iron. The bullets are taking it all, which I think I'm going to stop production of the bullets for now to help alleviate this. But now, of course, the belt which I've been grabbing is also taking it all. Again, I could start building the mall over there, which I do want to do, but I need a stopgap solution for now. I need a way to make this work, and that is going to be to reverse this belt right here. Take these off and reverse this down this way up to at least this point. And then I'm going to take that and actually just connect it to my iron over here. So I'm just going to run this across. It's fine. It'll be fine. This is only a temporary measure. That's going to run to there. And you are going to run... Oh, you're going to run straight out that way. For now, temporarily, that is going to be the solution. That is at least going to start these running just for a while. But straight away, we're going to run into another problem, which is going to be that the this can come away now. We'll run into the problem that the circuits will stop flowing, because what we need is circuits. What we're missing is circuits. So we need to be getting iron over to the green circuits, which means this has to come all the way back down here over to green circuits. And I am fine if this one then attaches onto it, and even this one can attach onto it too. But this will help bring some iron over to green circuits, which will start green circuits flowing again, which is gonna be necessary. I mean, not so much for our blue science, but just for our general sort of supplies of circuits. As you see, this will not even tax this system down here particularly. It'll be fine, and it should bring plenty enough iron over, at least to get the circuits flowing decently again, which you can see here. We're already got circuits flowing pretty well. It's not perfect. It's not quite enough, but it'll do. It'll do. It's enough that it's going to have the system running again. In the meantime, let's start looking at our track situation and quite how I'm going to run that. So normally, again, I used to use a track-based template, and I will be creating one here, I think. So my normal approach is to have about, I think if you do it basically, is that enough? I can't remember. Hang on. I think that's enough. That is, how many squares does this take up? Can't remember how many squares this takes up. One. Because what I want to be able to do, and I can't remember how to ghost it from the situation, but what I really want is to be able to put a roboport in the track. Because the roboport will be something that will be extremely useful. So this is a personal roboport. I can't actually make that yet. I don't have the right ingredients. I can make some of these, which would not be a terrible idea. And I don't think I've actually... Have I made the roboport yet? That's worker speed. Cargo size 1. Where is the... Have I made the roboport yet? Let's modular armor. Yes. Personal roboport. Right, so robots. This gives me a roboport recipe, which is what I want to make. I want to make at least one roboport because I want to figure out and ensure that it fits. So, worker robot, where is a roboport? I cannot see a roboport. Am I going blind? I thought roboport was in the logistics tab. I see. Ah, there. One roboport. Let's make one roboport. Okay, you can stop that for now. Okay, that's going to take a second to build. While that's building, I'm just going to pause for a second and keep topping this up. Okay, that's still running at the moment, and I've been looking at this situation here. Something we're going to have to start thinking about also is going to be some red belts. I'm in fact going to cancel that for a second and start looking at making a couple of red belts. This is where Amal's going to start coming into its own, because I think we're going to have to start making a whole raft of things like red belts for this, because this setup is clearly going to need red belting. I'm looking at just this small little copper setup here, and we are already needing red belts to make this happen. Which is not grand. I mean, I can stand here and grab lots of... I can actually do it that way and that way and upgrade some of these. In order to make sure I get a bunch of parts that I need to make some red belts. But yeah, I am going to need to split these, split this. I think it'll be fine with yellows from there, But what I'm going to need to do is get at least reds down here. And as you can see, the next issue is there's just not enough copper coming through. I'm pulling it up and it's just not coming through enough. We're running at full tilt here. So with that, this is the next queue. You can see how this starts to snowball quite rapidly. But these have now run dry. These are still running. Yeah, it's full. Okay, we know. I will now copy some of this and just stick it in like that, I guess, and try and line that up. That should be fine. And we can bring this one into the same situation. Again, this is all going to be very sort of basically done for now. Yes, my inventory is full. I know my inventory is full. I put lots of stuff in my inventory and it's very, very full. Okay, you've got no power. Okay, not a problem. Power. How is that? Another thing I'm looking at here is the iron going, is the actual amount of coal going down to the generators is not what I would like it to be. With that in mind, we're going to have to do something about that as well. And I think I will add some additional coal in here, because the last thing I want is to run out of power. Running out of power would be very bad. So that has helped the copper situation out. You can see it's all running at full tilt here. I mean, I could even run reds down here if I had the materials to create enough red belts. As is, you'd need reds running all the way down, because we're not quite getting enough copper down to the end here. Or at least we are just... yeah, we're just getting enough copper down to the end. But what you need to do is replace all of this with red belts and this with red belts. That will help load this out, which will keep these running, which gives us more green circuits, which blah blah blah. And no matter what you do, you end up running back here with red belts as well. But for now, that's going to have to run full tilt, because we've got a lot of issues to sort out right now, which are looming up on us. So I need to go back to making that. There's not enough inventory space to make that, is there? Okay. Okay, right. Let's just scrap that. That gives me a space. No longer enough ingredients. What do I need? I need gears. Okay, gears are not a problem. I can go and get those. This is where this game starts to heavily snowball very quickly. Let's grab these gears. Okay, hopefully that's enough gears. Yes, I can now make that. That will go there. Good, 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 good. Let's get rid of some of this stone into there. to clear those from the inventory, and do the same with the coal. Get rid of that too. Science. Yes, let's get... Now we've taken all that science. We don't have any red science there, but we could always get rid of the green and blue science. That armor could also probably go somewhere eventually. In one of my various scrap bins somewhere. I have a scrap bin somewhere. But what I'll do is I will grab this one and I can put that in. And that will distribute itself as required. I might even be able to finish that one. There'll be enough grey science there to probably do that. And how are we looking? Still pretty hairy, but right, we've now got this. This Roboport has two zones on it, you can see here. It has green and it has orange. The orange zone is a logistics zone. The green zone is a construction zone. So basically the construction bots would build anything within the green zone. And the logistics bots will provide logistics to anything within the orange zone. And these ports need power. So this is exactly how I like this to be. And what you like to do then is run the track up. Oop, hello. Nope, nope, nope. Run the track up like so. We'll run the track up like this. Perfect. And then we'll get one of these. And right where this ends. Yoink. And I think if we go to... It says, trying to remember. Yep, 2. There we go. And... Oh, we need another port now, don't we? Balls! I need one more Roboport, which I didn't think of. Because what you want to do is have the second Roboport connected to it. So I'm going to go away and make a second Roboport. And then I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. Roboport in hand. So, Roboports will go on the bar. Now, what you should be able to see, and maybe I need to power this, just to make sure. Let's power that. And it will charge up, which will probably hammer our poor little power grid that's not designed for such things. And you should be able to see, yes, this little yellow line connecting them. This little yellow line connecting them is very important. This basically means that a logistics bot can go from one Roboport to the next. If you have that break, it will not. So what I like to do is have that, and then I split this out so that we'll put this one here and we'll put this one, like, hopefully right in the middle. Which will be about there. That is not that important. However, the logistics bit is, and getting the power pole here on the right side is important. Because this is going to become my template. So what we'll do is, you'll see this will come down here. And this will come down here. And we'll turn this into a junction in a minute as well, which will be great for creating some templates for the railroad. Now, we could do with some signals. Ooh, I haven't actually got any, not chain signals. Signals, yes, we do have signals, sorry. So, rail signal. So, you would have the train going up this way, And what I tend to do is just here at these roboports, I will make a break in the track, so that if I'm creating a copy of this, it will copy the same every time. There and there, I believe. So when I then like blueprint this, like so, what we do is call this, we'll name it straight rail. That'll be good enough. And we create that blueprint. But now you'll see if we line up over there, it's perfect. It lines up and it creates a nice straight rail all the way along where you want it to be. And this will become the backbone of your railway track. And what's even better is once you have the logistic bots, the logistics connections, the system can build itself. Once you get that all up and running. But for now, we'll just be looking at having that made up, and then we can start looking at having junctions and things like that in a minute. So junctions are going to be slightly different. I'll have to build a new junction later on so that everyone can see what the junction is going to look like. The other thing I will point out right now is I'm going to take these back off here actually, and I'm actually going to delete a bunch of them because I've just realized as I've been doing this that I've made a little teensy weensy bit of a mistake. By putting these on the track, what I'm actually doing is I'm gonna cause the actual, oh god, okay, fine, throw the grenade, there you go, bots will repair that. Yeah, by putting them there, I'm actually going to cause myself a bunch of trouble, because what I'll end up doing is creating a direction on the track, and this is on a track that at the moment is being used in both directions by the system. So at the moment I haven't set that up, though I might in a minute, or I might in between episodes set up that system. But for right now, I'd like to get the copper running, and then I can look at setting up that system, because what I'm going to do is break the tracks. As long as I know where the two line up for now, I can look at changing that later. But as long as I know where the two tracks line up, it means I know where I need to bring in the station to drop off things like the copper, the iron, and stuff like that. Because what I would like to do is bring off here. I don't know if it's going to be easy enough to bring it off, if it's going to work to bring it off just in this location. I think it's going to be too small. I think the track would have to come over anyway. Yeah, I think this track's going to have to come over anyway. So what you have to do is we'll have to bring this track out this way anyway before we can do it, because we're not going to have enough space here to actually make it so that there's enough space to have a station here to get rid of or to unload all the iron and all the copper we need, because copper is going to be going here. We're going to need a station. We're going to need like a multi-station, because the station is going to have to deal with copper, iron and coal. So it's going to have to be a proper multi-station. So you're going to need a line here that deals with, say, copper. Then another line that deals with iron, and another line that deals with coal. And even then I feel like I'm leaving us tight here, because what you actually need is a bunch of what will be steel chests. So if, depending on whether I've got them in my inventory, I don't have the iron handy to make them, but I'll probably have to build one. I'll need a train and a couple of cargo wagons. So let me go back and grab those, and I'll then show you what I mean. Okay, so let's try and demonstrate what we mean. We're going to need to power at least 4 of these copper smelting systems running at full tilt. Now to do that, we're going to need a lot of copper ore, and we're going to need that coming in pretty quick. So we're going to have a train come in and deliver that, and here we'll put a train stop, and then we can actually pick the train up and place the train. You should be able to place it. There you go, it should snap now. So it snaps right there. That's where the train's going to go. And on that train we're going to put 4, maybe 5 carriages, depending on the fuel. Now as we have this like rocket fuel flavor stuff down here, I'm going to propose using 5 to make sure we're pulling the ore in maximum, and it makes the trains very fast. So with that, somewhere here I should have, or I should have made some, or I thought I did. I was meant to make some cargo bits. I have not. I'll be back once again. So, sorry, now we're back on it. What you want is 2, 3, 4 at like a minimum. Yeah, we can do 4. And then ideally, I would probably just have a second train just for simplicity, rather than have like a posh queuing system. I would just queue up another train directly behind it here. So, oh, I keep selecting the wrong direction. So I'm going to queue up another train directly behind. So with that, I'm going to say, right, I'm going to put a brake signal here, so there's a bit of space. And then this train I'm going to pick up, and I'm going to put it right here behind there. We'll pick up a couple of these as well. We'll leave one there because it'll be useful in a minute. And this is where our next train is going to be queued. So where we've got this now is about happy, I would say. So that being the system, we're going to pick these back up again, as we're happy with the length of that. And these are going to go back here. Now you can make much fancier train queuing systems later on. I'm not quite ready to get into that yet. I'm going to go a bit more basic with that. I would be interested in making a much more fancy train queuing system if my bots were functional. As is, they're not. So I've been making here what is called stack inserters. Now, stack inserters, you're going to have a bunch of these along here. So that's 6 stack inserters, and then you're going to have stick sealed chests, and then generally you have another 6 stack inserters. Then on there you'll have this and this to power them, along with a belt system with which to take the ore away. And that will then run off to these. So what you would do is we would copy this and paste a copy there, there, and there. This then runs up and into what will end up being a balancer. So for this one we will go to a balancer first, and then we'll go from there. We're going to go pretty compact if we can. So I'm going to go for a 4 balancer. There you go. Thank you. Let's hope the bots will repair very shortly. Thank you. The only thing I dislike about nanobots is that sound they make when it repairs en masse. It's kind of horrible. So that will go. Oh, I've kind of done this wrong. That goes that way. There we go. There. Oh, ballsed up slightly. You need to come over one more this way. There you go, like that. And this one's going to need to come down here and do the same. And then we're going to go I can't remember if you need that one or not. I often feel that you do. Oop, sorry, knocking over my box on the desk. And we'll put that one in the middle. I got a funny feeling I missed that from the one I did earlier. Because I got a funny feeling you do need it. I don't know why. But I'm going to say you need it. I don't think you need it on both sides. I think you need it on one side. Ah. There you go. Let me know if you think I don't need it. I'm interested. I can never remember. And I have got a blueprint thing here somewhere. I've got the in my no, not there. In my blueprints here somewhere, I've got a blueprint library of them, which I think 4x4 it would actually show me. So I could actually just take a quick look at it and confirm. Where is it? 4x7x6 by 4x4. So yeah, they have one there. Don't ask me why. Seems to be required. And there we go. So this would then run off into each of these. Yoink. Yoink. And yoink. Now, at present, as you can see from the other one, we might end up looking at having to upgrade these to red belts just to keep up with the speed at which copper will be required. As you can see, there's a lot of copper requirement there. I mean, unfortunately, it's not a true representation there because of there's more than one thing drawing on the red belts. Now, this will probably have to be reversed, this system here, because I'll probably bring the coal in the other way, unless I bring it up and round. Because the other thing you can do is you can put this on both sides and bring out 4 belts. It empties a lot faster, and gets your trains moving a lot faster, but I'm going to hope we don't have that level of demand for ore, because that would be a lot of ore. And if it comes to that, we will upgrade, and and I will make sure we have the space to do that. Because the next one will end up taking a copy of this, pretty much, and building it further back. So what we'll do is we grab a copy of, not quite that setup, a copy of, yeah, actually a copy of that setup. No, let's not take a copy of that setup. Let's copy up to, I want up to the yeah, there. And then we already know we don't want it that close, because we're going to want to build another one. So I'm thinking to put it about here. And this would be, for example, the iron drop off. And then this one here, behind it, would be the coal drop off. I mean, this one could then turn down. And that's how you would build these. This one I know may be higher in demand. The iron's going to be much lower in demand because you only need like the 1 plate. I mean, if we look here in what it takes to make a green circuit, it takes 1.5 copper to 1 iron. So in truth, if you were going to have, even if you made this longer, which might be tempting to make sort of 6 in here, and then had 6 of these, you could have 3 copper or whatever. But we're going to do it like this for now. This is the plan. So the first thing we'll start off with is having this with as tight a turn as possible to bring it back on the exit track. This one will then join it, and this one will join it, he says. And this one here will end up being on an entry track. Now, as I am liable to have it running, what you would do normally is run out in the same sort of way as I created the blueprint earlier for the track. So you would run out this blueprint and basically come in like so. And that's how you would do it. And you could then basically set this up so they come down that line. But what I'm going to do is going to be slightly cheesier than that, because it saves on space. Is I'm going to run from here down to here and down, and then I'm going to do the same again. and run like through like that. Oh, and then I have two essentially separate junctions, one for going in, one for coming out. I will still have it so that the trains can go both ways, but I will have one for coming in and one for going out. And it will allow me to stack up a maximum of 2 trains for each type, which I don't think I'm going to need 2 trains, to be honest. I'm struggling with this to make it look the same, and it's going to bug me if it doesn't. There we go. Now, one thing that's important to put here will be signals. So essentially we'll need a signal here, a signal here on each, and this will allow that a train to go down that road without there being any problem. You can see Factorio is pretty good in the way it does the colors here. So this one I would put the signal here, then I'll put another signal here. You can see it breaks up those oranges and greens, and you can see here we've already got the brake for the waiting train, and this allows it to sort of break out and ensure that the train is able to run down through here ready to go out onto the track. Now, the reason we're going to end up getting to multi-track fun shenanigans here in a minute is because when I start bringing this out, I think it's going to come out probably round about... Now the tricky bit is making sure they line up. You get some funky problems at times with it not lining up. So I want to make sure this actually lines up in a minute, because I'll bring this out in a different... I'll be changing that track at some point. I don't know if they fix this, but rail has this really odd way of working where it sometimes doesn't feel like it's working correctly. So I'm going to plonk that there, and what you would end up doing is bringing this down, and this would be your up track, and this one is your down track. So, and this is an idea you now have to keep to all the time. Yeah, this track goes up, that track goes down, always, for all trains, otherwise you end up with shenanigans. Now, already this piece of track is broken here, but again, what we need to do is make sure the track is clear. Now, you can, I mean, I would probably put a brake here and here, because that means this train can enter onto here and this track is considered blocked, but as soon as a train coming down goes onto this line's considered free and the train will go through. And as for this, we will worry about getting that to line up later. What I'm probably going to do is, let's just put that on the bar for now, is put this down, and I'm just going to check that I'm going to be able to bring this out without any problems here. So just get it, yep, not a problem. So this line we're going to keep discreet at the moment, because I don't want it to start giving me massive problems here. Am I almost out of nanobots? I am. I need to go and pick up some nanobots because laying track is painful. So that is where the main track line is going to start running. We're going to have to go and sort out some bad guys over there in a minute, which is going to be interesting in itself, but that I think will have to be next time. As I'm going to say, thank you very much for watching, like and subscribe as always, and join us again next time. Thanks a lot.